I knew something was off the moment we walked in. Not dramatic, not obvious, just off. The kind of feeling you get when a room is too bright, too loud, too carefully arranged to hide something underneath. Mom's gone all out this year. My sister laughed, opening the door wider. She wasn't wrong. The living room looked like a department store exploded. Piles of wrapped gifts under the tree. Boxes stacked near the fireplace. Stockings overflowing. Lights everywhere. It was excessive. But then again, that wasn't unusual. Not when it came to her kids. Wow, I said, forcing a smile. Looks like Santa upgraded. My mom came out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel, already smiling, but not at me, at them. My sister's kids. She dropped to her knees immediately. My babies, she said, pulling them into a hug like they had just returned from war instead of a 30-minute drive. Then she stood, glanced at me, and gave a quick, polite nod. You made it. Made it. Like I was a guest who arrived on time. Not her daughter. Not someone who drove 3 hours with a 5-year-old in the backseat asking every 10 minutes if Grandma was excited to see him. I shifted slightly. Yeah, traffic wasn't bad. She nodded again, then turned back to the kids. Of course she did. I looked down at my son, Oliver. He was quiet, taking it all in. The lights, the gifts, the noise. Go say hi, I said gently. He stepped forward. Hi, Grandma. She looked at him, smiled. Hi, sweetheart. A quick hug. Short, light. Your one click can keep these stories alive. Subscribe, because every voice deserves to be heard. Don't miss out on the journey. Subscribe and let's grow, laugh, and learn together. Then she was already pulling away. Okay, everyone sit. We're opening presents early this year. Of course they were, because anticipation mattered more when there was something worth waiting for. We all gathered around the tree. Or rather, they gathered. I sat slightly behind, Oliver next to me, watching, because from the moment the first gift was handed out, something became very clear. Every single box had one of 2 names on it. My sister's kids. Again, and again, and again. Open this one next. No, that one's from Grandma. Oh, wait, there's more behind the tree. Laughter, excitement, paper tearing, the kind of chaotic joy Christmas is supposed to have. And Oliver? He sat quietly. At first he smiled, clapped when they got something cool, looked at me like he was waiting for his turn. I squeezed his hand. Just wait, I whispered, because surely, there was something for him. There had to be. But minutes turned into longer. 10, 15, 20, and the pile didn't shrink. It rotated. New boxes appeared. Hidden ones. Extra ones. Wait, there's still more. 36. I counted. Not on purpose. It just happened. 36 gifts. Every single one opened. Every single one celebrated. Every single one not for my son. By the end, the floor was covered in wrapping paper. Toys everywhere. My sister laughing. My mom glowing. And Oliver, quiet. Too quiet. He leaned slightly toward me. Mom, he whispered. Yeah. Did Santa forget me? That broke something. Not loudly, not visibly, but deep enough that I had to look away for a second, because 5-year-olds don't understand favoritism. They understand presence and absence. I forced a smile. No, baby, of course not. He nodded slowly, but I could see it. The confusion, the small, careful way he was trying not to be disappointed, because even at 5, he already felt it. I looked up. My mom was laughing with my sister, holding up another toy like it was the grand finale. I stood, slowly. Hey, I said. No one heard me. Of course they didn't. I tried again. Hey. This time, my mom glanced over. What? I gestured Slightly. Did Oliver's gifts get mixed somewhere else? A pause. Not long. Just enough. Then she said it. Oh. Oh. That single word told me everything. I didn't get him anything, she added casually. I didn't know what he likes. I stared at her. You didn't know? She shrugged. You don't visit that often. 3 hours. Work. Life. Trying. But apparently, not enough to qualify as remembered. I nodded once. Because there are moments where arguing doesn't fix anything. It just drags the moment out longer. And this one didn't deserve more time. I looked down at Oliver, then back at her. Got it, I said quietly. She had already turned away. Conversation resumed. Like nothing had happened. Like a child hadn't just been quietly excluded in front of everyone. I took Oliver's hand. Come on, I said softly. Where are we going? He asked. I smiled. Out. He nodded. Didn't question it. Because kids trust movement more than explanations. We walked to the door. No one stopped us. No one asked, because they were still surrounded by everything they had chosen to see. And as I opened the door, stepping out into the cold, I made a decision. Not emotional, not impulsive, clear, final. Because if they could ignore my son that easily, they didn't deserve to be part of what came next. The cold hit harder than I expected. Not just outside. Inside too. Oliver held my hand tighter as we walked to the car. Are we going home? He asked. I paused. Because home suddenly felt like a question. Not a place. Yeah, I said softly. But first, we're making a stop. He looked up at me. Where? I smiled. Somewhere that didn't forget you. There was a small toy store 10 minutes away. Still open. Lights warm. Windows glowing. The kind of place that feels like Christmas actually belongs there. We walked in and Oliver's entire face changed. Not because of the toys. Because someone looked at him. Hey there, the cashier said. What are we picking today? That was all it took. Recognition. Inclusion. Something so small, but so important. Anything you want, I told him. He hesitated. Really? Really? He didn't go wild. Didn't grab everything. He picked carefully. A small train set, a puzzle, and a stuffed dinosaur. He hugged immediately. We paid. Walked back to the car. And as he sat there, holding his dinosaur, he looked at me and said, "This is the best Christmas." I swallowed hard, because it wasn't about the gifts. It never was. It was about being seen. And as I started the engine, one thought settled in completely. Next year, we wouldn't be going back there at all. The next morning, my phone rang. My mom. I didn't answer. A message followed. You overreacted. It wasn't a big deal. I looked at Oliver, still sleeping with his dinosaur. Then I typed back. It was to him. No anger. No explanation. Just truth. Then I blocked the number. Because some doors don't need closure. Just distance. A week later, my sister called. Not to apologize. To clear things up. Mom feels bad. She said, you made it awkward. I almost laughed. Awkward. I repeated. She just didn't know what to get him. I looked at Oliver across the room, building his train set, completely at peace. You don't forget a child, I said calmly. You choose not to think about them. Silence. Then, softer. You're really cutting us off over this. I exhaled slowly. No, I said, I'm choosing where my son feels wanted. She didn't respond, because there's no argument against that. That night, Oliver asked if we could invite new people next Christmas, people who smile more. I smiled back. Yeah, I said, we will. And just like that, our holidays stopped being about tradition and started being about respect.